So we are going to start our first topic, introduction and initial configuration. Before start introduction and initial configuration, let's talk about firewall technology first. Let's talk about firewall technology first. So what do you think about firewall device, Louis? Can you share with me? What do you think about firewall device?
The firewall device is a
Mhm.
security, it's a network security device that
Okay.
monitors the incoming and outgoing traffic of your network.
Yes, with
Is that
firewall we can monitor, right?
yes,
We can monitor, we can allow, and we can deny.
traffic?
Yes. So what is firewall device? Firewall is just like a router. Firewall is just like a router. In router, we can configure routing. Yes, we can configure in firewall device. In router, we can configure NAT. Yes, we can configure in firewall device. In router, we can configure VPN. Yes, we can configure in firewall device. So firewall is just like a router. But yes, in firewall, we have some advanced feature which router cannot provide you. Router cannot provide you. So firewall, you can say firewall is a system or group of system that can manage access between network. That can manage access between network. What is between network means? So we are familiar with LAN network, WAN network. What is LAN network? So your private network is called LAN network, local area network. What is WAN network? Your public site portion, or you can say your ISP side portion is called WAN side portion. So we are familiar with LAN network and WAN network. Now, what is DMG network? Because in firewall, we have one more term. It's called DMG portion, DMG network, demilitarized zone. We are familiar with LAN and WAN. What is the use of DMG network? Demilitarized zone. Let's discuss one example. Let's discuss one example. Okay, I have one firewall device. Okay, firewall device. Any vendor you can take, any vendor. Okay, I'm talking about firewall only. I'm not talking about Fortinet right now. Firewall device. So I have one firewall box, and this portion is LAN side portion, LAN side network, LAN side network. And in LAN side network, you have multiple servers. You have multiple servers, like for example, company web server, company SMTP server, DNS server, FTP server. Okay, you have some computers in LAN side portion, desktop machine, laptop machine, and some company confidential servers you have. Company confidential servers. Okay, this side we are using as a ISP side portion, or you can say internet side portion. Into this design, if I want to allow some traffic from WAN side network, this is what WAN side network, public side portion. Into this design, if I want to allow some traffic from WAN side, okay, my point is this outside machine is trying to communicate with this web server, for example. So to allow our traffic from one zone to another zone, or you can say to allow our traffic from WAN to LAN, we need to configure policy. We need to configure policy here. Okay. Firewall policy, you can say. So we need to configure what? Policy. And in policy, what information we can add? We can add L3 information and L4 information. What does L3 information means? Source IP and destination IP. L4 means what? Service or protocol, you can say. Just like a ACL in Cisco router. So we can configure policy to allow our traffic. Yes, I can define source IP, destination IP, service, and protocol. And based on policy, yes, this outside machine, my point is, this outside machine can establish this connection. This outside machine can access this web server, no problem. But the point is, traffic is initiated from WAN side network. Traffic is initiated from untrusted network, ISP side portion. So traffic is coming from untrusted network. Internet is what? It's untrusted network. And yes, as per your policy, this outside machine can only communicate with this web server, no problem. But traffic is initiated from WAN side portion. So it may be possible this traffic can try to compromise other devices, yes or no?
Yes.
Can try to compromise your other devices. This is the issue. That's why what we can do, that's why we can put these servers, in a separate network. We can put these servers in a separate network. Okay, this is called what? DMG network. It's just a name. DMG, it's just a name. Deep Transmission, just a name. You can type any name, your name, my name, no problem. Just a name. DMG network. What I'm doing, I can put all my servers into this DMG portion. This is switch device. I can put all my servers into this DMG portion. These servers are publicly allowed for outside users. So now this time traffic is coming from outside. Okay, this outside user can hit on this public facing interface. And as per your configuration, your firewall will redirect this traffic on DMG side portion. So your LAN network is secure now. Your LAN portion is what? Secure now.
Secure.
So what is DMG network? In DMG network, we can put our servers, and these servers are publicly allowed. Clear this point? What is the use of DMG portion?
Yes.
Yes. Now let's talk about one more common feature for any firewall device. One more common feature for any firewall device. This is called stateful firewall inspection. The concept is what? Stateful firewall inspection. What is stateful firewall inspection? What is stateful firewall inspection? So I have one firewall device, and you can take any firewall device right now. For example, I'm using Cisco ASA. Cisco ASA is what? Adaptive Security Appliance. So Cisco ASA firewall device. Okay, so this portion I'm using as a LAN side portion, LAN side network. In LAN side portion, we have multiple computers, and this side I'm using as a ISP side portion, ISP side network. This inside machine IP address is 192.168.10.10. And this 10.10 is trying to communicate with this outside server, for example, 8.8.8.8. Cisco ASA firewall devices, this firewall device works with the concept is called security level. Security level. Security level. What is security level? If you go on to any interface, for example, this is fast Ethernet 0/0. This is fast Ethernet 0/1. If you go on any interface, for example, I'm going to this interface 0/0. And if you type a predefined keyword in Cisco ASA firewall device, if you type predefined keyword is called inside, INSIDE. If you type this predefined keyword, inside keyword on any interface, for example, I'm using on this fast Ethernet 0/0. So this interface will get a security level number 100. 100. Now, what about this interface 0/1? This is public facing interface. So you can use any other keyword, not inside. Okay, any other keyword. For example, I'm using keyword outside, just a name, outside. So this interface will get a security level 1, 0. So security level range is in between 0 to 100. in Cisco ASA firewall. Why we are creating this design? Our focus is on to discuss stateful firewall inspection. This is our topic. That's why we are using this design. Okay, you can use any firewall device. So now in Cisco ASA firewall device, by default, only in Cisco ASA. If you talk about FortiGate, Palo Alto, Checkpoint, FTD, if you want to allow traffic from one network to another network, one zone to another zone, you need to configure policy. But in Cisco ASA firewall device, by default traffic is allowed from higher security level to lower security level. By default traffic is allowed. So this 10.10, my point is this 10.10 is trying to communicate with this 8.8.8. So this traffic will go and hit on this interface. When traffic will hit on this interface, firewall will identify, okay, this interface security level is 100. And this inside machine is trying to communicate with 8.8.8. It means this inside machine is trying to go on outside. So traffic is trying to travel from higher security level to lower security level. So if traffic is trying to travel from higher security level to lower security level, by default traffic is allowed. Traffic is allowed, so traffic is traveling through the firewall device. And when traffic is traveling through the appliance, then firewall will maintain the state of connection in a table is called state table. State table. When traffic is traveling through the firewall device, then firewall will maintain the state of connection in a table is called state table, connection table, session table, you can say. And what it maintain in state table, it maintain what is source IP, what is source port number, what is destination IP, what is destination port number. So source IP, as per our task, this 10.10, right? 10.10 is trying to communicate. So source IP is what? 192.168.10.10. What is source port number? It can be any random port number. For example, I'm using 52,000. Destination IP trying to communicate with 8.8.8. Destination port number 443. 443. So traffic is traveling through the firewall device. And when traffic is traveling through the firewall device, then firewall will maintain the state of connection in session table. This session table, Louis, you can verify in any firewall device. For example, if we are learning FortiGate firewall device, I can show you this session table information. But it's a common concept, right? Now I'm telling you what, it's a common concept for any firewall device. Now, what about reply packet? What about reply packet? When this 8.8.8, we send a reply packet on this interface. Reply packet. So when reply packet will hit on any interface, or you can say when any traffic will hit on any interface, then firewall will try to identify is this traffic is a part of any existing connection, and how it can verify, how firewall can verify based on state table or session table information. So when reply packet will hit on this interface, firewall will identify traffic is coming from 8.8.8. Yes, I have this entry. And this 8.8 is giving reply for 192.168. I have a information. So based on source IP, source port number, destination IP, destination port number, firewall can identify this is not a new traffic. Okay, this is not a new traffic. This traffic related information is already maintained by this firewall device in session table. So traffic was initiated from inside network. This is just a reply packet. This is just a reply packet. So firewall will allow this traffic. Clear my point, Luis?
Yes.
So this is called what? Stateful firewall inspection. What is stateful firewall inspection? Where traffic is traveling through the firewall device, then firewall will maintain the state of connection in a session table, then forward the packet to the outside. When reply packet will come, firewall will verify this reply packet information in session table. If information is available, traffic is allowed, otherwise drop. This concept is called stateful firewall inspection, and it's a common concept for any firewall device. It's a common concept. Now let's talk about one more common concept. It's called firewall mode. Firewall mode. So we can use our firewall device in two modes. We can use our firewall device as a layer 3 firewall box, or you can say NAT mode firewall device. NAT mode firewall device. And we have another mode, it's called layer 2 firewall, or you can say transparent firewall device. So in case if I have a firewall box, in case if I'm using this box as a layer 3, so these interfaces are what? These interfaces are called L3 interfaces. L3 interfaces means you can configure IP address on these interfaces. You can configure routing into this box, NAT you can configure, VPN you can configure. You can also utilize next generation firewall feature. But in case if you are using this complete box as a layer 2 firewall device, so these interfaces are called L2 interfaces. It's not a switchboard, it's a L2 interface. It means you cannot configure IP address on these interfaces. You cannot configure routing, NAT no, VPN no. But yes, you can utilize next generation firewall feature. You can utilize firewall feature here. So the point is, in this scenario, we can use our complete box as a layer 2 firewall box because we have a limitation. We have limitation with layer 2 firewall device, with transparent firewall device. In which scenario I can use this? Let's talk about scenario. Okay, let's talk about scenario. So I'm working in an existing routing switching design, for example. Okay, I'm working in existing routing switching design. Okay, I have one router. This router is connected with ISP side portion, and this side we are using as a LAN side portion. LAN side port. Into this design, everything is working fine. Into this design, everything is working fine. This inside machine can hit on switch. Switch will forward this traffic to the router, and based on routing table, router will forward this packet to the outside. Everything is working fine into this design, no problem. But now I want to deploy a complete firewall box into this existing design. I want to filter my packet. I want to deploy a firewall device into this existing design. So what I can do, this portion is your LAN side portion. This portion is what? Your WAN side portion. So I can deploy a firewall device. For example, I'm using firewall box here. And this box I'm using as a L3 firewall box. This device I'm using as a L3 firewall box, layer 3 firewall box. So these interfaces are called L3 interfaces. Just like a router interface, each interface will participate in different subnet. So my point is you need to change. When you deploy this firewall box into this design, you need to change your existing IP address scheme because each interface will participate in different subnets. So this portion is your different network. This portion is your different network. Yes or no, Luis?
Yes.
So my point is what? We need to change our existing IP address scheme. No problem. I want to deploy a layer 3 firewall device. I can do this. No problem. I can do that. I can change IP address scheme. I can deploy my firewall device as a layer 3 firewall box. No problem. I can do this. But in case if I don't want to change anything into this existing design, I don't want to change any IP address scheme into this design, then, and I want to deploy a complete next generation firewall device, then I can deploy this firewall box as a layer 2 firewall box. If I'm using this box as a layer 2 firewall box, So these interfaces are what? These interfaces are like a Alto interfaces. So no need to configure IP address. You have a single submit again. It's a single submit, but it's an interface. So you can give a description. You can say, for example, this is a LAN interface. This is a WAN interface, and it's a firewall device. So to allow your traffic from LAN to WAN or from one interface to another interface, you need to configure policy. You can also utilize next generation firewall feature. But the problem with the layer 2 firewall device, we cannot configure IP address on any interface. We cannot configure routing into this box, NAT, no, VPN, no. So layer 2 firewall device, in most cases, layer 2 firewall device, we are using an existing data center network. Because in data center network, I have complex network. Okay, I have now in my company, I have 20 new firewall devices. And I want to deploy 20 firewall device in my existing data center network. Data center network is a complex network, and I don't want to change any IP address scheme in my network, but I want to deploy a complete next generation firewall device. Then yes, I can use all the firewall device in layer 2 firewall mode. I hope this point is clear for you.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now let's start our discussion with Fortinet. Wait. Okay, let's start our discussion with Fortinet certification. So in Fortinet, this is called NSC certification program, Network Security Expert Program. Just like in Cisco, we have CCNA, CCNP, and CCIE. In Palo Alto, we have PCNSA and PCNSE. In Checkpoint, we have CCSA and CCSE. In Fortinet, we have NSC certification program. Okay. So these are NSC certification, NSC 1 to NSC 8. But now these certifications are called FCA certification, FCP certification, FCSS certification. After this training, you can go for FCA certification or FCP certification. After FCP certification, you can go for higher training. For example, you can go for FORTIMANAGER, FORTIAnalyzer. You can go for enterprise firewall training. You can go for FORTINET SDWAN training. Clear my point, Luis?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's talk about firewall feature need to review. So I'm not talking about Fortinet, okay? I'm not talking about Fortinet right now. No. I want to buy a firewall device for my network, for my organization. So as a network admin, some feature I need to review before buy a firewall device. So firewall feature need to review. What what features you need to review? The first one, you need to know the architecture of each firewall vendor. You need to know the architecture. For example, if you are working with Checkpoint firewall scenario, Checkpoint is what? In Checkpoint, we have Gaia operating system, right? Checkpoint is what? Checkpoint is a software-based firewall device. Checkpoint is a software-based firewall device. You can download this Gaia operating system from Checkpoint website. You can install in any laptop, desktop, and you can use your laptop or desktop as a complete next generation firewall device. As a complete next generation firewall device. This is Checkpoint architecture. So before buy a firewall device, you need to know the architecture of each vendor. Prefer a software firewall that you can install on a new or existing PC, or you can go with a dedicated appliance. You need to know the number of sessions, how many concurrent firewall session does firewall need to support. Because if I'm working in a big network, I cannot go with entry-level firewall device. So before buy a firewall device, you need to know which firewall series is suitable for your organization. For this, you can check data sheet. For this, you can check data sheet. Let's verify our data sheet here. So my point is what you need to do some research before buy a hardware appliance. You need to do some research. Okay, which firewall model is suitable for your organization? What is your requirement? What is your requirement? So you can see some examples here. You can see some examples. These are what firewall devices: Fortinet, Fortinet, Fortinet 30G model, Fortinet 40F, 50G, 60F, 70F, and these are what features: firewall throughput, IPsec throughput, firewall latency, concurrent sessions support. For example, if I'm working with firewall 30G model, this firewall can support 6 lakh sessions. That's why we can use this firewall device in an entry-level organization. For example, I'm working with 50 computers, 100 computers. Yes, I can go with this 30G or 40F. Firewall policy I can create, 2000 firewall policy I can create here with this firewall device, 2000 firewall policy. So you need to do some research. You need to do some research before buy our appliance, physical appliance in Fortinet, because here we have entry-level firewall box. Here we have what? Entry-level appliance, Fortinet 30 to 90 series firewall devices. These are entry-level firewall box. Mid-range is 100 to 900 series firewall devices. We have high-end appliance 1000, 3000, 6000 series, and we have changes based. So my point is, if I'm working in a big network, I cannot go with entry-level firewall device. I need to go with mid-range or high-end appliance. So you need to know number of session firewall need to support. VPN. The next feature I need to review VPN in case in my network, using, if they are using site-to-site VPN implementation, they are working with remote access VPN implementation. So can I configure? Can I configure IPsec or SSL VPN into this firewall device? Integration. Can I integrate my firewall device or this vendor with any other server like Exchange server or SharePoint collaboration server? In case if I want to manage this firewall device through CLI, through graphical page, can I manage this firewall device through CLI or graphical page? Can I manage through SSH, Telnet or SNMP? Is it possible? Or in case if I have multiple firewall devices, multiple FortiGate firewall device or multiple firewall devices, so can I go with the centralized management? Can I go with the centralized management? Is it possible? For example, if you are working with Cisco FTD, Firepower Threat Defense, if you are working with FTD firewall device, so to manage multiple FTD in Cisco, we have FMC appliance, Firepower Management. To manage multiple checkpoint gateway devices, yes, we have centralized management option, checkpoint management, or you can say SMS server. To manage multiple Palo Alto firewall devices, yes, we have centralized management. It's called Panorama concept. We are working with 14 firewall device to manage multiple FortiGate firewall box. To manage multiple FortiGate firewall devices, yes, we have FortiManager appliance, FortiManager. So if I'm looking for centralized management, I have 10 firewall devices, I have 20 firewall devices. I want to manage all the firewall devices from centralized location. Yes, I can go with high availability in case in my network, I'm looking for high availability configuration. So can I configure high availability with this vendor? So these are some common features you need to review before buy a firewall device. Before buy a firewall device. Wait. If you talk about some history, so Fortinet was founded in 2000 by two brothers, Ken and Michael. The company's first product was a FortiGate firewall box, but now they have a lots of products in Fortinet. You can see FortiGate firewall box, Forti Wi-Fi, Forti app, Forti analyzer, Forti manager, Forti camera, Forti switch, Forti mail, Forti authenticator. Multiple Fortinet products we have now in market. Let's talk about factory default configuration first. Factory default configuration. If I'm working in if I'm working with any high-end model or mid-range model, for example, if I have high-end appliance or mid-range model, so in high-end and mid-range model, we have a dedicated management port. We have dedicated management port. And these are what? These are data interfaces. These are data interfaces. So to manage this firewall device, I can connect my management PC with this management port. I can connect my laptop. By default, we have just IP address on management port. If you don't have no problem, you can configure, no problem. You can access this firewall device through console and you can configure. But by default, we have this IP address 192.168.1.99. But in case if you are working with any entry-level firewall device, entry-level model, in entry-level model, we have only data interfaces. In entry-level firewall device, we have only data interfaces. Data interfaces. For example, this is port number 1, port number 2, port number 3, port number 4. So port number 1 we can use as a management. Why? You can use any port as a management port, no problem. But by default on port number 1, by default on port number 1, these services are enabled by default only on port number 1. That's why we can use port number 1 as a management port. Default username is admin and password is nothing. Let me show you. Wait. Let me show you this option. Okay, so I have a basic design right now for basic implementation. Basic design, I have one FortiGate firewall box. And one management PC. So this cloud I'm using as a management PC. This cloud is my physical laptop. This cloud is my physical laptop. So I'm trying to access this FortiGate firewall device with physical laptop. Port number 1 I'm using as a management port. Simple design right now. You guys clear my point here?
Yes.
Simple design. One firewall and one management PC. You can right click, start this firewall device. We can access through console. This is console page. And this will take time. Wait. Okay, this is console page. So I'm trying to access this firewall device, username admin. Password is nothing. Okay, you can set your password. For example, I'm using 123123. Now we are in FortiGate firewall device, and this is console page. Now you can type question mark to verify what commands we can execute into this mode. So these commands are available. You can go with config, get, show, diagnose, execute, alias, exit. Let's start our discussion with show command. So I'm using show system, show interface, show system interface. And yes, into this firewall devices, we have 4 data interfaces. You can verify here. We have 4 data interfaces, port number 1, port number 2, port number 3, and port number 4. We have only 4 data interfaces, and you can see on port number 1, by default, DSCP is enabled. By default, DSCP is enabled. So if you connect this port number 1 with any DSCP server, this port can take IP address automatically. And by default, these services are enabled. These services are enabled only on port number 1. If you verify on port number 2, nothing is enabled. Port number 3, nothing is enabled. Only on port number 1. Only on port number 1, these services are enabled. Ping, HTTP, HTTPS, and SSH. So I'm trying to configure IP address on port number 1 because I want to access this firewall device with graphical page. So let's try to configure IP address on port number 1. What is command syntax? To configure anything, you can go with config command. So config system interface. Config system interface, edit, and which interface you want to edit port number 1. You can press enter. Now I'm using command set mode static. Why? Because I want to configure IP address statically. Set mode static. Now you can configure IP address. Set IP 192.168.29.190/24. So I'm using this IP address. Why? Because same series of IP I'm using in my physical laptop. See, same series of IP 192.168.29 series. So 192.168.29.190. Now set allows. If you want to allow some services, so command you can use set allows and question mark. You can see multiple services are available. I want to enable, for example, HTTP, HTTPS, ping, and SSH. Press enter. And once you configure everything, now if you want to save your configuration, if you want to live your configuration, you can type here end command. To save your configuration, to live your configuration. When you press enter, you can verify show system interface. You can see port number 1. IP address 192.168.29.190. Services, you can see ping. So this cloud is my physical laptop. So from physical laptop, I'm trying to verify my connectivity. 192.168.29.190. Yes, I can ping. I'm getting reply. If I'm getting reply, then I can open any browser. I can type here 192.168.29.190. This is graphical page. This is graphical page for Fortinet firewall device. Username admin and password we are using 123. So this is graphical page, and this is what CLI console, and this is what graphical page. Let's take a break for 10 minutes, Luis. Okay.
Okay.
Then we can continue our session. Okay. It's 140 on my side. We will continue after 10 minutes at 150. Okay.
Okay.
Please turn off your mic. Hello, Louis. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can we start our discussion now?
Yes, we can start.
Okay. So password I'm using 123. This is graphical page. This is FortiGate firewall graphical page, and you can see multiple options are available here. Multiple options are available. For example, here we have dashboard, network, policy. You can see it. You can see now here we have dashboard, network, policy and object, security profile, VPN, user and authentication system, security fabric, login report. Multiple options are available. Let's start our discussion with dashboard first. We can start our discussion with dashboard. In dashboard, we are talking about status. So this is your dashboard page. Dashboard is a common page. It's a common page for any firewall device. Dashboard we are using for monitoring. In dashboard, we can get some information. Let's start our discussion with this first option. This first information is called system information. System information. System information, you can verify host name of this firewall device. 48-VM64-KVM. In case if you want to change this device host name, you can change with CLI command. Config system global is a command. Set host name. This is a firewall one, for example. And when you configure everything, if you want to save your configuration, if you want to live your configuration in FortiGate, you can type in the command. So you can refresh this page. You can refresh this page and you can verify host name is changed now. Host name is now firewall 1. This is device serial number. Firmware version we are using 7.0.11. This is build version. Firewall mode is a NAT mode. So default mode is what? L3 firewall device. System date and time. Uptime information when IP unknown because we are not using any configuration right now. It's a new firewall device. You can also verify license status. Yes, if you are working in a real network, then yes, to download latest signature update, you need to buy license. And you can see here we have FortiCare support license, firmware and general update license, IPS, antivirus, web filtering. Okay, so into this license page, you can get an idea about license issued and license expired information. We are getting a message here, unable to connect FortiGuard server because right now this firewall is not connected with internet. That's why we are getting this message, unable to connect FortiGuard server. We are using into this testing scenario, we are using virtual firewall box, VM firewall box. So yes, it's a virtual machine, and see, we are using one CPU. We have 2 GB RAM and right now we are utilizing 50% of RAM. You can verify here, FortiGate cloud not supported. Security fabric information you can verify here. Administrators information you can verify. One admin is managing through graphical page and one admin is managing through console. Yes, one admin is managing through console. This is console page. And one admin is managing through graphical page. And username is admin. Username is what? Admin. With this admin account, we have a profile is called super underscore admin profile. Super underscore admin profile. What is super underscore admin profile? We'll discuss later. Okay, we have next topic to discuss. But right now you can see with this admin account, we have this predefined profile, super underscore admin. What is super underscore admin? I will tell you later. Okay, now let's talk about CPU utilization. In dashboard, we can verify CPU utilization, memory utilization, number of sessions information you can verify. You can change your time. For example, I want to verify CPU utilization after every 24-hour, you can change this time. I want to verify memory utilization after every, for example, 12 hour, we can verify. So these are the default options. These are the default option. In case if you want to add more information here in dashboard, you want to add more options, you can click on add widget and you can see multiple options are available. See, multiple widgets are available. See, for example, I'm looking for interface bandwidth. I'm looking for interface bandwidth. I want to verify incoming and outgoing traffic or bandwidth utilization information on port number 3, for example. You can select your interface. You can click on OK. I want to verify high availability status here. So you can add your HS status information. So you can check here. You can check, see, bandwidth utilization, inbound and outbound traffic, HS status. Right now, this firewall is not participating in any failover concept. That's why HS status is what? Standalone. So my point is you can add some information, or if you want to delete, yes, you can remove. If you want to add, you can add from here. Clear this point?
Yes.
Now let's talk about RBAC concept here. Role-based access control. Topic is what? Role-based access control. What is RBAC concept? RBAC. RBAC. So we can create multiple firewall admin account. We can create multiple firewall admin account. For example, I have one FortiGate firewall device, and to manage this FortiGate firewall device, I can create multiple administrator. For example, I am creating admin 1. I can create admin 2. Admin 2. I can create multiple administrator account, no problem. But I want to define different level of access or privilege for each firewall administrator. For example, admin 1. Admin 1 is my L3 administrator. I want to give him full access permission. Whenever he will log in into this firewall device, he can do any type of changes, any kind of changes. Admin 2 is my L1 administrator. I want to give him level of access or privilege. Whenever he will log in into this firewall device, he can only view the configuration. He cannot change anything. So to define level of access or privilege, we can create admin profile here. In FortiGate firewall device, we can create admin profile here. For example, I'm creating L3 admin profile. It's just a profile name. L3 admin, just a profile name. You can type any name, your name, my name, no problem. Into this profile, I can add privilege. For example, I'm trying to add full access permission. And this profile I can attach with this admin 1. So whenever admin 1 will log in into this firewall device, he has full access. I can create one more profile. It's called L1 admin profile. It's just a name. Into this L1 admin profile, I'm giving privilege or level of access is read only access. This profile I can attach with this admin 2. So whenever admin 2 will log in into the same firewall device, he can only read the configuration. He cannot change anything. This is called RBAC, role-based access control. Let's go to firewall device. And you can go to system. You can see here we have two tabs, administrators and admin profile. So if you click on administrators, you can see here we have default admin account, admin. And with this admin account, we have predefined profile is called super_admin. And type is what? Local. It means this admin account is available in my local database. You can go with admin profile. You can click on admin profiles, and here we have two predefined profile here. Two predefined profile, professional underscore admin and super underscore admin. These are two predefined profile. What is the difference in between professional underscore admin and super underscore admin profile? So if you select this super underscore admin profile, you can only view the permission. If you click on view, you can see these are level of access. These are level of access. For example, system tab, network tab. So these are level of access control option. And for everything, permission is what? Read, write, read, write, read, write. And we cannot edit anything. We cannot change anything in super underscore admin profile. You can just click on return. You can just click on return. If you want to change any permission, you can go to professional underscore admin profile. You can see if you select, you can edit. So my point is, if you want to change any permission, you can change in professional underscore admin profile. For example, I want to go with read, write, read, write. You can decide. So these are two predefined profile. But in case if you want to create your own custom profile, you can click on create name. You can give a name here. For example, I'm giving a name L3 admin, just a name, just a name. Into this profile, I'm using permission read write. For all access control, permission is what? Read write, read write. You can say full access. Just click on OK. Let's create one more profile, and I'm giving a name L1 admin. L1 admin. And into this profile, I'm adding what? Read permission only. Read permission. You can click on OK. So these are two predefined profiles. And you can see with these profiles, these are two predefined profiles. And these two are what? Custom profiles. These are what? Custom profiles. And you can see with this super underscore admin profile, we have reference number 2. But if you talk about other profiles here, reference number is what? 0. What is reference number? What is reference number? So here we have reference number 2. With this super underscore admin profile, we have reference number 2. It means this profile. We are using somewhere in configuration. Somewhere in configuration. If you want to verify, no problem. You can just click on to number, and you can see this profile we are using for admin account. See this profile we are using for fabric admin. This profile we are using for system administrator. So two places we are using this profile. That's why reference number you can see 2. And other profiles we are not using anywhere in configuration. That's why reference number is 0. Let's click on administrators. And I'm trying to create my one firewall admin account. First, you can give a name. For example, I'm creating a name admin1. Type, I'm using local user. Right now, I'm creating user account in local database. But in case if you have any remote server group, then yes, you can click on a remote server group. When you match a user on remote server group, you can add your remote user group information. Right now, we don't have. So that's why I'm creating user account in local database. But yes, we'll discuss how to integrate our firewall device with any remote authentication server. We'll discuss. But right now we are using local database. Local user is what? Local database. So admin1, it's a part of local database. Password I'm using 123 123. And profile with this admin1, I'm trying to add L3 admin profile. L3 admin profile, you can click on OK, no problem. You can click on OK. But you can see here is an option, restrict login to trusted host. Restrict login to trusted host. So here you can add trusted IP address or network information. My point is only specific IP you can say, or specific subnet, you can say, can access this firewall device. So you can add information. For example, 192.168.29.145/32. Only this IP can access this firewall device with this user account. So you can add IP address information, you can add subnet information. Is clear for you?
Yes.
Okay, so right now I'm not adding any information. Right now anyone can access. Just click on OK. Click on create new. Click on administrator. We can give a name admin 5. I'm creating one more admin account, admin 5, password 123 123. And with this admin account, I'm trying to add L1 admin profile. You can click on OK. You can click on OK. Now you can log out. You can let's verify. You can log out and we can try to log in. Admin 1, password 123. Password 123. So here we have admin 1 account. Admin 1. And if you remember with admin 1, we have a profile L3 admin profile.
Okay.
And in L3 admin profile, we have full access permission. Full access permission. It means this admin account can do any kind of changes. Any kind of changes. For example, if you go to network tab, if you click on interface, I want to configure interface, for example. You can select your interface, you can edit. See, edit option is available. I want to configure policy, for example, security policy, firewall policy. Yes, you can create new option is available. But if I'm trying to log in, let's log out. If I'm trying to log in with admin 5, with admin 5, we have a profile. We have a profile is called L1 admin profile. L1 admin profile. You can verify here L1 admin profile. And in L1 admin profile, we are using read-only access. We are using read-only access. You can verify here, for example, network, interface, port number 2, you can only view the configuration. You cannot change anything. If you go to policy, firewall policy, yes, you can see here, you can view the configuration. You cannot create any policy. Clear this topic, Luis?
Yes.
Okay. Let's continue this discussion tomorrow. Okay. No, not tomorrow. Now your session is on Monday, Luis. Okay. Our session is what? Monday to Thursday. Okay, dear?
Okay.
So you can connect on Monday now. Okay, Luis?
It's okay.
And I will share this recording. I will share this recording after 30 minutes.
Okay, please.
Bye, dear. Take care.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye. Bye.